I just love when the sun be right there. Good morning. It's Sunday. It's beautiful. It's better than walking in the rain. Maybe singing in the rain. Yeah, man. I got so much to talk about today. I was up since like 4 o'clock and I wanted to start the video, but it's dark as hell around my area. And it's not that safe to be walking around in the dark. I don't know. It's something I just don't want to do. Plus it's cold and it's dark. That's probably the biggest thing. You can't see a dark person when it's dark outside unless you had lights. Anyway. So yesterday I did my list. I had like 27 things, 26. I did about 70%. I can't do the math on that. But 70% of my list got done. And it felt really good. I'm gonna do the rest today. I did a lot of the clerical stuff. Sending emails, putting dates in the calendar, etc., etc. Today's the music stuff, which is fun. But anyway, I hate this. Every time I start the video, I go blank. As I said, I was up from 4 o'clock. I had all this stuff to say, and now it's just gone. But let me start with the dream. So in the dream I had last night, which whenever I sleep on the couch downstairs, or whenever I sleep in a place not normal, like if I sleep, so when I sleep in a bed, it's whatever. But if I would like sleep on the couch, sleep at the kitchen table, in Japan, my ex-girlfriend, she had heated floors, and I was just so, oh my gosh, and I would just fall asleep on the floor. I mean, she had a rug, and I just fall asleep, and I'd have these weird dreams. Why you gotta bark at me for? What did I do to him? Did I do anything to him? And he looked like he could just open up the gate. We ain't playing around. Although I'm sure I can get money from Judge Judy. Yeah. Go on one of them shows and be rapping. And that's how I was telling my dad, you see what I do. But I was telling my dad, because he watches Judge Judy and all those things. And he's always like, I don't know why people would go on these shows. They must be making money. So I Googled it. Because I don't know offhand. Or I did check last year. So when I came home last year, right? That's all they were watching, my mom and my dad. And I was so irritated. It was like someone scratching the blackboard. It's like, this is garbage. And I was like, I can't wait to go back to Japan. Not saying that there's not garbage TV in Japan, but I don't even own a TV in my house, and in my house, no TV's on. So I checked it real quick, and I was like, da-da-da. But anyway, I checked it again, and they make up to $500. They get room and board. They might get some money to get food. Sometimes they give them clothes, and they get their 10 seconds of fame. You know, the ones are like, they had sex with 20 guys, and now they're trying to find who's their baby's daddy. It's kind of embarrassing. But then, we all got to remember that chick, Cash Me Outside, she became a millionaire off her antics. And a lot of other people, I guess, could milk it. What's going on? I don't even know this guy. But I passed him because I come down this way. That is interesting. I'm pretty sure he's seen me walking and talking. It happened in Japan. I'm going to be all over the place. But someone was like, yeah, if you just change the place, change the culture, all that, it's like just good old days or whatever. Something like that. I was like, man, that is the greatest comment I ever heard. Because I'm kind of, back into the swing of things. But one time in Japan, I was walking up this way, and one time this guy's like, come over here. And I go over there, he's like, do you live around here? I'm thinking, am I in trouble? Because it was the day I had my 360 camera on my head or something. So maybe he's like, he thought I was recording stuff. But then he's like, yeah, I used to be a teacher a long time ago, and it was cool. Maybe next time I might, because the last time I was here, he was out, and he's like, good morning. I just said good morning. But now he's beeping his car, so maybe a conversation can ensue. But I might have went too far out of my conversation. Talking, walking. All right, it's gone for a little bit. But yeah, so wherever I be sleeping, I have these random dreams. And so last night I was sleeping on the couch, and the way those random dreams come about, you have to be you can't sleep comfortable. You got to be all scrunched up or on the floor or something. And that's when the good dreams come out. Anyway, so in the dream, it's like I was in Japan on the beach, in Oshima probably. And I'm walking with my friend, and my friend looked like he has everything together. And then we like go into this back room, and he's like start crying like, oh, I got $21. And in my wallet I had 18 and 21, like an actual $21 bill. So I was like, I gave him the 18. That's all the money I had. But when I woke up around 4 o'clock, or maybe 2 or whatever, I had this vision. I mean, from yesterday, I just felt this kind of, I can't explain it, this warm, fuzzy feeling like, aha, shit is starting to make sense. I can see the code in the Matrix. And, but that was all day yesterday, and it just kind of kept going all day. I finished the Quincy Jones book, and, he was just saying, at the end of the day, you just gotta love your life, all that happy schmappy shit. After all the awards, and I don't know, just hearing it from him resonated. You never heard me talk about Quincy Jones. I think I only bought one Michael Jackson album for my girlfriend with the heated floors. But, wow, it is cold. I see some frozen ice on the ground. We out here walking and talking, and it's frozen like this. The hell I'm doing. But I'm gonna try to get this all out. I thought it'd be a little bit warmer since it's all sun shining, but whew, we might have to put this somewhere and talk like we did last time, because my hands are cold. Maybe I should get some gloves. Soldier on. So I went to the mall to get some hot pretzels. It's all part of the story. I'm sitting there, and I feel like nostalgic. Sitting in the mall. Normally when I go to the mall, I feel lonely. Look at me all by myself in the mall. Because most people be in the mall with their friends, with their kids, with their lovers. I'm just sitting there by myself. But I felt good. I was just sitting there enjoying sitting in the mall, looking at the Santa and Christmas music. Remembering when I used to go to the mall, trying to think what the new stores are. I see this lady, older lady, but she looked really young, black don't crack, right? So she's looking at me, and I don't know her. And then she comes over and she's like, don't I know you? And I'm like, kind of look familiar. And she's like, weren't you in China? Like, I was in Japan. Like, my son is da-da-da. Like, I haven't seen her since high school. Because her son and I, he was a rapper. We were in a rap group. We had a falling out. And he made a diss track against me, my girlfriend at the time. He said, fuck you and your girl. I hope she dies. Something to that effect. Now, I don't know why I decided to play the track in her car, but she was all, why did he say that? I don't know why he would say that. He was just going for blood. But I was in a position where I know his mom. I know his uncle. His uncle was like one of the first people, like musician people, to like have an interest in what I do. So, and his cousins, although I wasn't friends with his cousins at that time. Later on, his older cousin and I would like make a little rap group. But I failed anthropology because of him. Well, not because of him, but when I went back to college, I was sitting in anthropology class writing disses. Just the most foulest shit I could think of. I didn't go after his mom or anything, but I was ruthless. There would have been blood in the streets. And that's all I did in that class all week. The next week, I ended up failing it. And, but then I think it was right around when Nas and Jay-Z were having that thing going on. And I forget how I came about it, but it's just like, there's no point in me pursuing this because unlike Jay-Z and Nas that are going to make money from the magazine ads and the record spins, nothing good could come from this. Nobody cares, you know? So I just let it go. And then, you know, I was at college at this point. And one time I was with his cousin, I think. I don't know, we were somewhere. And he's like, yo, can you give me a ride? And I gave him a ride, and I'm just like, yo, what was up with that disc tape? And he's just like, you know, man, there's nothing. I was just being dumb. And I was like, whatever. So and then I went off to Japan, and then I came home last year. I was at a comedy show, and I seen him, and he's really good. You know, like, hands down, he's one of the top MCs I know. I always, like, he's from Jersey. It was a nice balance. Like, maybe I was more like Andre 3000. He was Big Boy. We had different styles, but ultimate respect for the dude and his craft. So he was using it against me. But when I seen him doing comedy, I was just like, wow. There's a bunch of other comedians. They're all right. But his shit was actually funny. And here, maybe I could post up right here. Look at that. We got a nice little background. But his stuff was really good. And he just, for whatever reason, we're at a bar or whatever. And he sits on the stool over there. And I look over and like, yo, that was a nice set. And he's like, Matthew, what are you doing back? And it felt really nice. Really nice. And he was like telling me he doesn't rap anymore. But, you know, I was saying, you know, doing comedy, I tried it once. It's a form. Like T.I. does comedy. It's right up there. But anyway, that was at the mall. And while I was talking, or when his mom was saying hi and all that, I just emailed my mentor about the book I read, just telling him that, you know, it kind of reminded me of him. And then he called me, and I was talking to him for a little bit. And yeah, and then on my list of things to do was to go and get some meat. So I went off to Wegmans. But I stopped at the mall to get some pretzels because that's my kind of thing that I do. I went off to Wegmans. In the parking lot, I saw this beautiful woman. I'm dancing because I'm cold. But anyway, let me get to the point. So I go to Wegmans. I get my stuff. Come back home. No. So when I was at Wegmans, in the parking lot, I decided to write this artist that I know. I think I was talking about him yesterday. He was on the feed talking about his stuff is not good enough. Who's going to buy it? And I believed that I would be inspiring to him. This is what I wrote. I said, hey, what's going on? Hope everything's good. So yesterday you were talking about you don't think your stuff's good enough. I'm like, I feel the same way too. I don't know why people buy my stuff. But, you know, everyone has the power to inspire. Just the simple act of you, the guy I'm talking to, just the simple act of you put out something like a little project, it would inspire other people who are on the sidelines thinking, oh, my stuff's not good enough. And then it would like make a chain reaction. And then I talked about how, you know, I put out 20, 25. I put out a lot of projects, albums. Sometimes people buy them, sometimes people don't. It's a marketing thing. But the magic that happens from putting things into the air, you can't even tell. Like I mean, what's another magic one? Like my mentor, right? Or check this out. I like the links of all this. So my friend, who I actually met her daughter, but it's my friend's mom. But my friend's grandma, I was in the house one day and she's like, Matthew, you should go to Temple University. Where's my logo at? You should go to Temple. They got a nice music program. Now, at that particular moment, I was sitting in my friend's house. He was at Temple. I wasn't. I think I had to work or something. So I didn't go down there with them. I was just in the couch waiting for them to come back. And she's just like, yeah, you should go to Temple. And then I went home and filled out the application and applied to Temple. They said, hell to the no. You ain't smart enough, dummy. I'm a C student. Despite all the books I read and the thought-provoking thoughts I have, I didn't do the classwork. But then I went to community college. I really liked the way it was. And long story short, graduated from Temple, which brought me to Japan, which made me... But you see all that links, but it all started with, I didn't think I was college material, but just her encouraging words, saying, I think you can go. Which led me to meet my mentor, who called me, and he was talking to me, just saying about his project. He wants to introduce people to inspiring, like, sports people. And I was pushing, you should just do it. Just you do it, because you're inspiring. Man, this guy has met everybody and he's always helping people. He's helped me. Like if there was no him, there would be no Japan, because like it's all connected. So I was telling the musician this, the artist, and I thought I would be inspiring him. So I'm just like, yeah, man, there's beauty in what you do, and you never know. So then I go into Wegmans, get my stuff, come home, and I check to see if he wrote back. This man wrote like a Harry Potter book. And it kind of pissed me off. It was just like, and I had to calm down because it was unsolicited. He didn't ask me to do it. I just thought that maybe hearing from me, someone that, you know, when I drop my music, it's like, oh my gosh, you're so talented. And I just wanted him to know that, yeah, I'm talented, I guess, but I sometimes feel that I'm not talented. And I try not to compare myself to other people, because you just shouldn't do that. But internally, I feel if I was so good, then how comes I don't have? And I kind of stopped doing that, because that's just not going to get you anything anyway. That's not going to get you anything anyway. There's a lot of factors. Time, place, shit, the algorithm. I don't put tags up in my shit. My random ass tags are not going to get anything. You know what I'm saying? So all those things play in the fact. But I do know, and I've been blessed to meet people, you know, when I was in Japan, who say, hey man, seeing your videos, it inspired me to come out to Japan. I met a guy who said, you inspired me to go to business school, etc., etc., etc. And I always feel, you know, they're just saying it to say it, but, you know, a lot of times they don't have to. I mean, it got to the point where when I was doing the beat battles, a lot of them knew me. When I walked through the door, I came in alone, dolo, and I posted up in the corner, just doing reconnaissance, see what kind of event this is. And some people talk to me, and I didn't. They saw this. No. But in real life, I'm more like. Plus, I don't be talking at nightclubs like that. Just be watching. But then later, they would tell me how one of my videos of me randomly doing stuff, like, they watched it, whatever. So, good morning.
All right, come on. Keep it moving.
But yeah, and then later on, I started making videos like, I don't think people. Again, when I say I know how the musician felt, because I was there. I think all artists have this thing. But I was making videos saying I don't think people really fuck with my music and all that, and they would come up to me and say, man, I got, like, it was really surreal, because normally, other people, in my world, people normally don't come up and say, Matthew, I got you, don't worry, or da-da-da-da-da. They just ignore me, and life goes on. But he was just saying in his way, I got you, and if you ever need anything, whatever, and you don't have to worry, you're not alone in this. And I started to tear up, but it was a nightclub, so ain't nobody see me tearing up. But so I thought it would be good to hear from somebody that, now he could be a hater, he could be like, I hate that guy, he makes it look so easy, I hate him. But anyway, I just reached out, and it was just a positive. It wasn't you should do anything. It's just you have a beautiful light inside of you. And then his response was like, and it just made me. But then I had to realize I gave the unsolicited advice. He didn't ask for it, and he could take it any way he wants. It was a gift. He liked it. You know how you could like a post and you get a little heart and like chats and all that. So he did like it. But he just doubled down, tripled down on what he was saying, and I just had to. Walk away, People get mad, like, I'm trying to give you some advice, you give it and then walk away. It's there, it's been said. But a random thing happened, because when I was talking to my mentor at the mall, he kind of said the same thing too. And then the musician said the same thing. And then I was just in this mood, so I emailed my friend, and I was telling her that she's beautiful, she has a light, da-da-da-da-da-da. And then she emailed me later, and it kind of had the same, I thank you for saying it, and it just kind of, it hit me. The mentor, the musician, the friend. Like the Wizard of Oz. We have everything that we need inside of us. We have the tools. Now, maybe you're not spiritual or whatever, but, well, let's go to spiritual. God gave you everything you need to overcome whatever he throws at you. But maybe you're not spiritual. Your biology, you got everything you need inside of you. Or maybe, I'm just gonna leave it at those two. But like, cause just imagine, man, like, I don't want to get too far off into but everything is inside you. You have it, but you have to unlock it. That's the problem. How do you unlock your full potential? I wish I knew. I don't know. I'm trying to find those keys, a bunch of keys, and I'm all like, nope. But I believe the act of looking for the key and trying gets you a little closer. Closer. But and I think some people, by luck, hard work, opportunity. I mean, this was in Quincy's book. So opportunity, everyone has opportunities. They come up all the time. The problem is, are you able to capitalize on that opportunity? Like, how many times people like, if I only had this, then I can do that. I want to get to a point where I just have this. Maybe it's money or whatever, connections. I mean, I did it on someone's like, man, if only I could record a song. I'm like, let's go to the studio. I'll book it. Let's go. When do you want to go? And then they start backtracking. Well, you know, you getting it. It's like, hey, I'll pay for it, man. There's a studio I use. I'll bring my equipment. I'll mix it down and all that shit. Or someone's like, man, if I can get my song on iTunes, where's the song? I'll put it up for you right now. If I only had a website, I want to call people's bluffs, because it's a lot of times it's not that. It's more of a, you're not ready yet. Like I don't believe I'm ready for fame and fortune, because right now my finances, you give me $100K right now, I'm probably buying, what would I buy with $100K? Maybe I buy a car, a brand new car with, yeah, I'd probably buy a car or something, which is dumb. I'd probably buy 100K. But I just, like, that's where my mind's going. So I'd get the money and lose it just as fast, you know? So I gotta work on that. And right now in this downtime, I'm happy to report there's money in my account right now. Bills are paid. And that $30 that I gotta pay my stupid landlord in Japan on Monday, I'm gonna transfer it. So I figured out my bank account, it still works in America or in Japan. So when I would pay my bills in America, I would transfer it from this account to my American account, but I couldn't find the reverse, and they ain't open on the weekends. So I got to figure out how to send it back to Japan. But anyway, and I feel good about that. I'm gonna handle my shit. This is a new and improved version of me, Matthew 10.0, whatever. But unlocking the key. And I think that's like one aspect of life, to find your full potential. Unlock the key and then teach other people. And it doesn't even have to be like holding someone's hand, although that works really good for me. To see someone up close and personal and they're just talking to me like I talk to you. They just let me know, like, hey man, this is this and da-da-da and da-da-da. Like a real mentor. I mean, my mentor, he is a real mentor. He'll tell me stuff and, you know, try to keep me whatever. But a lot of people, I lose them because I go down into it, like the algorithm, it exists. Like, yeah, you could put up stuff online and yeah, it could be great content, good story with heart, but the algorithm is not, it's there. Now, maybe it would be like, you know how when you're flying, I don't know if you fly, but there's winds. I don't know what they're called, but there's winds that if you're flying your plane and you get into the wind will push you forward. You could ride the wind. You can see birds doing that. They just be gliding about. Or you can be going against it. It's going to push you back. The algorithm, I believe, is like that, you know? If you're in it, it's going to push you up far. Like if I would have tagged all mine, black man living in Japan, I would have been pretty, well, again, the timing is there. Because the internet 1.0 is a bunch of non-colored folks on there. They were quick to, you're black. Now there's Black Twitter who, but yeah. So we're gonna segue because I got so much to talk about before I freeze to death. But my dad likes to listen to the Reverend, what's his name? Reverend Al Jefferson? What is his name? Sharpton. I think it's Sharpton. I guess. He got his own little political thing. And my dad watches it religiously. Like I'll be sitting there watching something, he'll rush into the room and he'll be like, bop, 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 turn the channel. It's like, sorry, I gotta watch it. And he'll go back in the kitchen. Like you ain't even watching it. But yesterday there was some technical difficulty and he's just like, and then he started and back to commercial. And he came back. Sorry for the technical difficulties. But anyway, they were talking about Rosa Parks, and I thought it was such a weird conversation. I think there's a documentary on her or something, And they were talking about the narrative. They were saying, people think that Rosa Parks was tired and that's why she didn't want to get up from her seat. And that's kind of what they tell us. That's what we learn about her in Black history, right? But I think it was, I can't remember his name off the top, but it's not Seth Godin, it's the other guy. Gladwell, Malcolm Gladwell. I think the book was Outliers, or, you know, all his books are basically the same. But I read them all. I like his books, man. Anyway, it was saying that, I want to say it's Outliers. So Rosa Parks, she wasn't just any black woman. She was an activist. So before that incident, she was out there activisting. She was doing her thing. She was advocating for justice for black people and women and all that. That's her thing. And what we never really get in Black History Month in schools I grew up was, she wasn't the first. There was like a 14-year-old girl who did it before her. There was a bunch of guys who did it. Like, it was a thing. Like, a lot of people are doing that. But her story was kind of different because where she worked, who she was like if it was a high school, she was like destined to be the prom queen. Like, everyone loved her, white people and black people. And she made it was a really good way, a galvanizing point. Kind of like, we'll just leave it at. So he's going on about, I didn't know that. But it's not like, if Malcolm Gladwell is writing about this, it's public information. It's not like a secret. The formula for Coca-Cola is hidden in some secret compartment. Like, everyone knew this who was there. It's just they never told that story. And he's going on. It's so weird. But yeah, it was just weird. But just think how many stories that we don't know. And this leads me to my last, we're at 32 minutes. My last point, my last thing. I'm warmed up now. I'm warm. But in my rap, I wrote this. I said, I don't need to make up story. This isn't allegory. I seen everything I talked about all unfold before me. Do you just see what I did? Go, if you... That's the video where I'm swimming around underwater. But I didn't even know what allegory meant, because when I'm writing my rhymes, I don't be checking the definition. I just go with the gut. Clearly, this word is coming up. I used to read the dictionary back in the day, and I read a lot of books. Anyway, so I looked it up this morning, and allegory, it means like a story, like a fictional story. Because I always worried that since I don't look up stuff when I write my lyrics, there's a chance I might use it wrong. But I used it right, because the scenario is, somebody was saying I'm making up stories. My album is based on true events. But someone was saying I make up stories, and I was just saying I don't need to make up allegories, fiction. I seen it with my own eyes. But when I Googled it this morning, it brought me to the allegory of the cave, Plato's Republic. I remember reading it. They forced us to read it. And I think it was mildly entertaining. And I read it again, or read about it when I was in Japan. I joined some like space age group. It felt like very culty. And I would always come back with, and they're just like, oh, I know you think that way. And I'd be all like, but that's not what it said. You're interpreting it for your own. But the allegory of the cave goes something like this. Now listen, oh my gosh. Before I get to that one, this has also been on my mind recently. Recently, there's a lot of people upset, a lot of colored people upset about the Wakanda Forever and the Woman King. And they're just upset because And I find it interesting because Wakanda, the first one, was all like people are crying in the streets and blah, 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 blah. Same with when former President Obama got elected, people are crying in the streets. But then towards the end, they're just like, fuck that man. It's like, people just don't people are always, there's always something to be upset about, which it's cold, right? I can complain about fuck this weather, but I always feel better when I am out in the cold and I go into my warm house. You got to get both. You got to appreciate the ups and the downs. But a lot of people are upset about being woke media. And I'm gonna get back to the cave, but I want to do some backstory. Although woke is a term that was coined in recent years, it always existed. There was always a character who was woke. As far as back as that comes to me would be Good Times. You remember Michael? Michael would always be like, JJ was the comic relief, Michael was the woke character. And the Cosby Show, the guy Ron, well, who was the woke character in the Cosby Show? Because then when they split off to a different world, that was like a whole woke kind of show. The rappers take on that persona of we woke, we understand shit, we're telling you the truth. Artists, like there's some art, like painting artists, they paint things. So that the concept has always been there. People, I mean, Avatar, the first one, not the comic, but the blue people Avatar, that was a kind of woke, like it was about, he wrote it for a specific reason. Check this one out. The Peanuts. That was like the first international cartoon, right? All ethnicities doing their own thing. That's a kind of wokeness. The Boondocks. And on and on. There's many instances of they're going out of their way to say what needs to be said. Maybe it's comedy, but you know, there's truth usually in what they're saying. And then it just got like, I mean, blame the internet, Instagram, whatever. But it just became like da 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 da. And then I felt it would be like plastic. That's my thing. You remember? Well, I wasn't around, but I could imagine when plastic became a thing and people are out there putting everything in plastic. They didn't think about the backlash. No one ever does, you know? You just do it. And then after the fact. And then it's like, oh shit, we got too much plastic, and then the plastic is just piling up. I feel the woke is piling up. And now we get movies like this. I don't go for movies because the main person is black or white. I like a good story. Shit, I like a lot of horror movies. Shit, if it's good, it's good. And after I leave, I go home. I talk about it. I might research it, but there's people on the internet spit coming out of their mouth. They're so upset. And it's like, make your own movie then. You got the tools. Your iPhone 11 can do pretty good cinema-esque. 12, I think the 14s now, you can get like that nice bokeh effect. So make your own damn movie. Make it in the way that you feel fit. But why? That's just me, right? But they're just attacking it. And that also has an effect. Because then we might go back to... But anyway. So, go back now. 526 AD? BC? Before Christ? AD? After? Maybe it's AD. I don't know. But we're talking about Plato, Greek philosopher. All right? And him and his boys were sitting around one day. Maybe they were smoking something. Because you know that their conversation kind of has those vibes like, yo, man, imagine you in a cave. I mean, if you don't believe me, you remember the one scene from 8 Mile when he came into the car and he's just like, yo, you ever think you up here and you could be down here? It's a human thing. I think throughout history, people have always been wondering about the stuff. So Plato is having this little conversation. Now check this out. Just maybe you know it by heart. But Wikipedia, you can get the updated, the cheat notes. So here it is. There's some people, now imagine this. There's some people in a cave. They're tied, they're bound so they cannot move. They're just in a cave, just there. They can't turn their head so much. They're just in a cave looking at the wall. They're slaves. They weren't born there, but they were put there, and they've been there for a while. Their eyes have adjusted. That's how long they've been here. Behind them, there's a wall, and behind them, there's some other people. And then there's a fire. And they got these little puppet things projecting shadows in front of the slaves. The slaves been there long enough that they're just accustomed to everything. I don't know how long that is, but they've been there. So they're seeing these shadows on the wall. And they start making up stories about them. Oh, that one looks like a monkey, and that one looks like a this, and they're telling a story. They might even start praying to him. That is the monkey god. And they might even have arguments. They might fantasize, but they're having a whole world, having a whole thing going on. But the people behind this wall are just with the puppets. Now, there's another layer. I don't really know if they went this deep, but maybe they don't even know what. Maybe that was their job. They were put there to hold the thing. They might not even know there's people on the other side of the wall. They're just doing this because that's what they're doing. And then, so let me stop there, right? Or let me just go through the whole thing, right? So one day a slave escapes. He goes out, and when he gets in there, the sun is in his eyes, all like, I can't see. He's all upset about it. The truth, right? He's upset about the truth. And he keeps walking, and then he sees the fire, he sees the people making the puppets, and then he keeps going further and further and further and further and further back until he sees the full picture. Oh, I was in a cave. That was not the world, it was a cave. And he feels enlightened. He is woke. Oh, wow, look at this. I'll be damned. He's enlightened. So now he comes back down and he goes in there. He passes the guys holding the puppet, like, puppet holders. He goes over the wall, I guess, or under. Or there's a door. He goes in there, and now it's all dark again. I can't see. He's blinded. Blinded by the light. Dun, 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 dun. I don't even know where the song is, but I sampled it. All right, let me focus. So he goes back in there. And now this is where it gets weird, because it said he got accustomed to being back in the dark because it was painful for him to go and see the light and painful for him to come back in. And it said he was going to kill anyone who tried to take him back out of this cave. I'm going to change it up a little bit. I'm going to say he went back in there and he said, hey, brother, you're in the cave. There's another world out there. And the guy like, shut up. How you know? The monkey god says not. I don't know why he has that accent, but he did. And he's like, but brother, there's a whole world out there. He's like, stop being blasphemous. Now he's tied up, so he can't do anything anyway. But let's say he's untied. He might even kill him for saying something that goes against what he's always known. Now the guy's dead. He know the truth. He tried to share the truth, and they killed him. Now, come back to the present. Have you not heard or seen this happening? And happening right now. Right now. How many channels are on there telling this or telling that? Now, what is crazy, right? When we learned that, when I learned it, it might have been 9th grade, 10th grade. I don't remember. And the school curriculum has not always been truthful, factual. There's some parts that they kind of hide. So they're telling us about Plato and the shadows and all that while they're hiding other shit. Isn't that fucked up? So teachers would be like the puppet, holding the puppet, just doing as they're told. But someone's back there like, yeah, hold that puppet. Hold that puppet. He is the puppet master. Now, again, what gets me excited about this, that was 536 AD. So everything that has happened up until this moment is not new. It might be, oh my gosh, did you know that they did this to slaves and did this to Rosa Parks? But Plato, he's a regular guy, a regular schmo, doing regular schmo things. He wasn't perfect, but he had the thought way before. He wasn't doing it for the likes or the grams. Now, I'm pretty sure it might have been cool to be the wisest man of the time, and he's just walking around in his robe waiting to have some gay wrestling. I don't know. Were they wrestling? I don't remember. I think they were. Well, Greek, Romans. Maybe. I don't remember. So don't quote me there. But whatever the highest thing was of the day, I'm sure he benefited from his way of being. People would look to him as a wise, sage kind of guy. But that's 500. 500. That's a long time ago. So we come in, like we pop into existence. Pop. Like, for example, it'd be like, pop. We're into existence, and then we're just like there's a guy I follow. I don't follow him, but he pops up, and he gets all his information from TikTok. That's his source. I mean, there's threads. If you pull on the threads, it kind of will get you whatever. But that's his source. He's very articulate, and his points are whatever. But according to him, they blocked him from Instagram and YouTube, and like he's banned. He's not shadow banned. They just banned him because the people don't like his message. It's pretty scary. Pretty scary. I mean, I don't use Twitter. My accounts are still there, but I don't use it. But Tesla dude, he seems to have his own agenda. He owns Twitter. People go to Twitter for news and stuff. And that's scary. Scary. But yeah. So I'll end this with yeah, it is scary, but within all this, we're not the first. Not the first, and as long as humans continue to live, we won't be the last. And what gets me excited is we have control over information that we put in. Of course, for all you know, I got a little script that I'm reading and I'm making shit up because someone got a gun to my head pointed over there and they're just like, say that thing. And we don't know why I would be in that situation. I don't know, but we don't know all that stuff. But I believe that everybody has a purpose, a bigger purpose. And there's a chain reaction. Like, I don't think I'm the smartest chalupa in the batch. I'm smart, but I'm not there. But just the act of me doing what I do could inspire some other people who are way smarter and don't do stuff way bigger than me. Like a lot of the artists I see in Japan now, killing it. I wasn't in a position to kill it for whatever reasons. More excuses than not. But I mean, a couple of them, they're like, yeah, I saw you out there. I want to come out there. And now they're out there and they're killing it. And it's a great thing. And what if I never made a video, right? They probably would have got out there eventually. But they would have been like, I made a blueprint. And now that I'm home in America, I'm working on a new blueprint that will inspire people. I mean, just the act of doing is inspiring. I can't stress that enough. The fact that people get up every day, go to work, handle their shit, that isn't... No, you're not getting a Grammy for that. I know Channel 6 News is not going to put you up there for doing what you should be doing, but there's so many people who don't see that enough to know that it can be done. So, but yeah, man, I think I hit everything I want to talk about. Yeah. We got 50 minutes. We're a little bit over. You know, I like to keep them at 40. But I'm looking forward to going home, working on my list. And I hope everyone's having a great weekend, wherever you are in this world. Or wherever you... Now, I don't imagine anybody watching this video 10 years from now. But let's say, in 10 years, if you happen to be watching this video, I hope you are having a wonderful time. Assuming that Google exists and YouTube and all that. But yeah, peace.